So we're back on. This is part 3, right? So last time we were having the the laser thing on my neck, and after that, when I finished my study, 2006, that was actually my second study. I became an architect back then. I moved to Germany because of my ex. And when I came here, I had more time to because I was finished with school and with work, and basically the first year coming here was more like a break. I worked for the university and preparing some PhD doctoral studies thing, and relearning and learning more of German, so because I had some previous, knowledges. And while I was doing that, I was learning more and more about ascension and what that is, and different articles about, and of course the angel thing, and discover more about like Archangel Michael and all sorts of stuff. But something was off. I was like, I never felt right for me to always give my power away, and that's why I actually never really joined anybody or anything. And I was looking for something that, it's important to be part of a group, but something that makes sense, but also that something that really empowers you, not something that actually asks for your energy. For your just to be somebody's slave, or So I was looking for something that was really giving me power and knowledge. Real power and knowledge. And slowly on my own discovered little things that didn't necessarily have to do with just the spiritual part, but it had to do with, let's say, the part what people call like the conspiracy theory stuff. But it turned out that those conspiracies weren't really just conspiracies, because I remember in the summer of 2007, I discovered the videos of this gentleman called Benjamin Fulford. He's a Canadian journalist and who worked for Forbes magazine in Japan. And he was doing some videos about the Rockefellers, the involvement of the elite in our lives, and all the crap that was happening around the world and what they're trying to do. And he was actually saying that we're basically going to go into a world crisis, and he didn't know how fast would that be. He was just thinking that is going to happen at the end of 2007, but it happened in 2008. The things, how they unfolded. And he basically was finding all this information through a secret society that contacted him, and because they followed his work, and obviously they trusted him, and they offered also protection for whatever he might want to do. And these people arranged for him to go into have an interview with David Rockefeller, who came to Japan in 2007. And he was doing an interview. He was asking questions not in a direct in a direct fashion, because he knew that if he would ask direct questions, he won't get through him. So he chose something that would allow David Rockefeller to somehow announce to the world through his own words things that normally he wouldn't say, kind of like to let things transpire. And it was very interesting, because he was basically also was interpreting this, was translating the what David Rockefeller was saying about things in life. And they basically were saying that the crisis is inevitable, and a lot of change would come with that. And not only that, but he was explaining that the Asian people are just not, they had enough with America's monopoly, financially and economically, and they have really money, and they want to turn things around, and they want to they want to open the gate to new technologies for the people, and to make available things that right now seem, I don't know, science fiction. Yeah, and that was another waking, how to say, an aha moment. So that was the summer of 2007. Another interesting thing that I found out in the meantime was about the Anunnakis, and through different sources. One of the biggest sources of that, I mean, in 2007 was this Dutch girl that was, she has this video, she doesn't call herself a medium. She's, I don't know, she has like an energetical, she's doing this transmissions. And back then she was saying that she was among the only one that would actually be allowed to certain things that, I mean, as information goes. I didn't necessarily believe everything, but something was sounding true and it made sense. And I wanted to understand more. It's like, okay, maybe this is not the whole thing, the whole truth, but it does sound that she's might be onto something. And of course I discovered more sources, and yeah, it was fascinating with how much I would learn about, how I said, the big picture, and I'm sure that a lot of you actually are interested in that. But I mean, there's so many sources right now, I'm not going to list the whole thing. Anyways, we all actually have our own way of discovering things. I might have started from a different perspective and then I end up in a different kind of perspective. Anyways, yeah, and that was another big aha moment. And I was so interested in this Anunnaki, but then again, it's like, there's gotta be more to that. That's not it. That's just, there's gotta be more. So the more came in 2010. Actually in 2009, I think, or 2000, when I discovered Project Camelot. And they were, I mean, if you don't know what Project Camelot is, there's this whistleblower, how should I say, platform, where these two really cool people, Carrie Cassidy and I forgot the other part, Ryan, Bill Ryan, yes, an Englishman. They have so many interviews with very interesting people from a lot of, let's say, black projects in different areas, technologies and stuff like that. So you could actually go and check their website. They have Project Camelot and Project Avalon. Anyways, so that was it's a huge amount of information there. Hundreds of hours of just pure, how should I say, awesomeness. And in 2010, I actually found out about, I mean, Carrie was interviewing Ashiana Dean. Some people might know who Ashiana Dean is. Some people talk bad about her, but I just couldn't ignore what she had, I mean, her message. And as you know, we all have in our DNA different informations encoded, and we respond to certain things. So I responded to her information as like, it sounded true. I mean, it sounded very cryptic. I mean, really very abstract. But somehow I would just recognize in her data as like the information that she put out is just, it's huge. First of all, the body of information is absolutely huge. And she was saying that, look, basically this matrix is hacked, and we don't have much, how should I say, time until, I mean, as ascension goes, to get the hell out of here and free this piece of consciousness that is trapped here. And she showed all these really cool charts that made sense, and it wasn't like she would say something that and then wouldn't make sense. I mean, everything would come together. There are no holes in that information, and that information, since I mean I got to get her DVDs and watch a lot of the workshops and stuff like this, everything just makes sense from A to Z. You don't find any holes. And believe me, I tried to find holes. But it wasn't just that, it was the personal experience. The moment I actually started doing those techniques, is like freeing the spirit and the consciousness, actually got me into a place where I was like, oh my God, what's this? And I couldn't believe that the attack the attack that happened doing those techniques, because I was trying to learn something else, because that was like, oh my god, this is so awesome, this, I want to do it. And I remember buying those workshops and stuff, DVDs, and starting practicing and doing those techniques. And I mean, I could feel more protection, I could feel things changing around me, but also the energy of people around me and that work and stuff like this. And as she said, is like, the more you put out this Christic energy, because she was telling also about the Christ. Look, there's people that are talking about Christic energy, but then again, there's also the fake one. In the end, you have to be very careful to know which direction to go. But somehow you might end up in things that, of course, they're not necessarily the best for you. But then, hey, move on and you find out better things, and you kind of like get out of the way of, I don't know, of crap. And I thought that actually going in this direction is going to be, how should I say, would allow me to be more out of the way, so to speak, of crap. But it wasn't quite like that, because what basically this knowledge did was put me probably even more on the radar, and of whoever's watching things. But then again, I also got more protection. I'm not going to go into all the experiences that I had, but I can say this: the more you awake, the more things, how should I say, you see things differently. What you see around you doesn't make sense. And professionally, I hit the bottom twice, and I just huge depression, and I lost the will to live, as I said in another video. And it was horrible, and I died twice, and I couldn't believe that this happened to me. It's like doing all this stuff, but now it makes sense. It's just also death is a part of, or at least in this case, of letting go that are not supposed to be there with you when you move on. And it was like a short moment where you could see, it's like, look, you step out of the way, and it's like, oh, you have a larger view, a better perspective on things, and it's like, oh, so now I understand. And then I come back and then I play the game further, but with a higher understanding of things. I am so in awe of all the knowledge that she put out, and I mean, how much good it of the good that it did to me, and the differences, the difference in my life. I'm not here to actually advertise for Ashiana's work, but if you have a chance to actually check out her work, please do. And don't buy into the how should I say, the haters out there, because yes, what she says is really radical, and some people might complain about, I don't know, the money thing, but believe me, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just check out the information. The information is awesome, and practicing is the most important thing. Yeah, as ascension goes, so I've been through a lot of stuff. These are just a few, how should I say, important, defining moments that kept me going and keep me going. On one hand, I'm trying to live my life with family and friends. On the other, I'm just looking for, it's got to be more, and I want to see that change, and I want to live in a different world where things start to make sense. And now I feel this, energetically speaking now. Probably some of you who are in a similar position to mine start to feel very like you don't belong anywhere anymore. It's just you're trying to find a spot where you can, I don't know, insert yourself in reality, but you'll find it's pretty hard, and you have to create your own spots, as like pockets of different reality. You might be, how should I say, feel very disappointed when you will see a lot of people not reacting in ways that you might think it makes sense, and it's, how to say, common sense, because for them it's not common sense yet, and they're still lost and asleep in the program. And I learned not to blame, but sometimes it's hard not to do that. So yeah, I just so many things to say. It's just I have to, I don't know, get my thoughts together at some point and maybe give you more examples. But at the moment, so this is where I am, and I have, of course, more experience that I could talk about. I mean, special experiences. But yeah, at the moment I feel like this is where I am, and I feel the transformation physically. For instance, this with becoming vegan, it's like a lot of people. It's like one of the things that when you become more spiritual, you feel like you need to do a change, and a lot of people start to change their diet, and they need to eat more light, and you notice that things don't support you as much as like when eating crap. And for me, it was funny because I became vegetarian like in '94. In 2011 I became vegan, but now I'm mostly raw. And I know that when I eat more cooked than I normally, because I try to keep it up to 80-90% or more raw. If I go a little bit lower, I feel it immediately. And especially certain foods that, and believe me, I don't eat junk, but if now and then I have some of this like whole grain bread, it's just, if I had too much of that, then I feel like something is going on, and I just go again into the fog. And again, I mean, this is not anymore about, how should I say, ooh, and it's true, I mean, it's hard facts, it's personal experience, and you know that's like, hey, this is the limit, at least with my body, that it's so sensitive, because the more you, how to say, your body wants to express its light and its energy, it doesn't need all this crap. So it needs a clean body to express its power and its beauty. Yeah, God, there's so many things I could say. So I don't know, for the moment I will stop. So see you in another video. Ciao.